Good afternoon, my dear students. Welcome to Baran Private School Virtual Learning Classes. Today we're going to talk about how do animals survive, and we have a new story. So in the beginning, how do animals survive? You know that there are different weathers on the earth and different places. There are dry places with few plants, and there are some places with a lot of water and a lot of plants. So there are many different places on the earth. But the animals can survive in their habitats or in their environment because they can adapt. What's the meaning of adapt here? Adapt means to use to live, or it means it's a way of an animal body helps it to survive or live in its environment. In its environment. So the animals can survive in their environments. They have features that help them to adapt to their environment. So look at here. Here we can see some meerkats. The meerkats can live in hot and dry places, or they already live in hot and dry places. So here are some ways they adapt to their environment. So they live in underground burrows and they have thin fur. They search for food in the early morning hours when it's cool. Different animals have different ways to live and adapt to their environment. So the title of our story is A Visit to the Desert. Don't say desert. The desert is a different thing. It's a sweet food, or you can say it's a delicious sweet food. But what is the desert? The desert is a hot place with lots of sand. You can see that in the picture. This is the difference between desert and desert. And the word desert, it has double S. The genre of the story is realistic fiction. What's the meaning of realistic fiction? It's a story that could happen in the real life. It has characters that could be real people. Now, let's take the vocabulary words. Let's start from the beginning. You can open your reading book on page number 100. 100 and 101, you're gonna find the words and sentences for them. You should write the meanings because the meanings are not in the book. So the first word is adapt. When something has to adapt to a new place, it must become used to it. So what's the meaning of adapt? That's mean to use to a new place, to use to a new place. So what's the meaning of adapt? When something has to adapt to a new place, it must become used to it. Like here, the polar bear's thick fur coat helps it adapt to the icy water. He used to live, or he used to get in the icy water because he has a thick fur. So the thick fur here helps him to adapt to the icy water. Silence. If there is silence, it's still and quiet. Silence means still and quiet. The baby needed silence to fall asleep. The baby needed silence to fall asleep. Shadows. What's the meaning of shadows? You know the meaning of shadows, I think. The shadows are dark shapes that are made when something is in front of the light. Look at here. This is the shadow. What is the shadow? It's a dark shape that made when something is in front of the light. Look at her hands. Her hands are in front of the lights, so we can see the shadows. Right? The meaning of shadows. What's the meaning of shadows again? The shadows are dark shapes that are made when something is in front of the light. We made animal shadows on the wall. Sense. What's the meaning of sense? Sense means a feeling you have about something. So the sense is a feeling you have about something. I felt sense of pride. So here, sense of pride. So the sense is a feeling about something. I felt a sense of pride when I won the race. Fresh, when something is fresh, it's new or not spoiled. Fresh means new and not spoiled. I like to eat fresh vegetables or fresh bread. The baker made fresh bread every day. Freedom, the freedom is being able to move about the area or about the place. Freedom is being able to move about. Like here, the deer have the freedom. Don't forget here, the word deer can be singular or plural. But here we said deer have, that means more than one. If we say deer has, that means it's only one. So deer have the freedom to move about the open land. So what's the meaning of freedom? Freedom means to be able to move about. Eager. Eager, when you are eager, you want to do something very much. When you are eager, you want to do something very much. Mindy or Mindy is eager to see her grandmother. She wanted to see her very much. She wanted to do that very much. Climate, the climate is the temperature and the amount of rain that is in a place. The climate, I think you took the weather and the climate in the social or maybe in the science. So the climate is the temperature and the amount of rain that is in a place. So Tom lives in a hot and sunny climate. Let's revise the words. Look at here. What's the meaning of adapt? Adapt means to use to live in somewhere. Or you can say when someone has to adapt to a new place, it must become used to it. The climate is the temperature and the amount of rain is in a place. Eager, eager means to want to do something very much. Freedom, that freedom means to be able to do, not to do. Yes, it has more than one meaning. We can say it means to be able to do whatever you want, and we can say it's being able to move about. Fresh, when something is fresh, it's new or not spoiled. Sense is a feeling you have about something. The shadows are dark shapes made when something is in front of the life in front of the, did I say of the life, of the light. Silence means still and quiet. Now get your turn practice book and open page 51. Write the date. Today is 4th of October, but we took this lesson 3rd of October, so we can write 3rd of October 10, 2021. But I didn't record it yesterday. Use what you know about the words in the sentences to choose the words that make sense in each blank. Then write the word on the line. So let's revise the words. Adapt means to use to live in some place. The climate is the temperature and the amount of rain in some place. Eager, to want to do something very much. Freedom, being able to move about. Fresh means new and not spoiled, sense, a feeling you have about something. Shadows, dark shapes, you made them or they made when there is something in front of the light. Silence means still and quiet. My sister is excited and to learn about the polar bear, so she is excited and eager. So excited means to work it all up and eager means to want to do something very much. The quiet ended. The quiet what? The quiet silence. Quiet and silence have the same meaning. The quiet silence ended when birds began to chirp. Chirp, not chirp. Desert animals must to hot to dry weather, they must adapt. The air feels cool in the dark under the trees. So here there is a tree in front of the light, so we can find shadows under the tree. So the air feels cool in the dark, shadows under the trees. The eagle has that to fly where it wants. He has the freedom. A rainforest has a warm, wet temperature or climate. Climate, because temperature, climate means the temperature or the amount of rain. The air outside felt and clean. It's new, it's fresh and clean. A wild animal will run away if it feels of danger, a sense of danger, because sense means feeling about something. Turn your page, but in the beginning we will talk about prefixes and suffixes. What's the meaning of prefixes? Grade 2, concentrate. The prefixes are word part or group of letters. We added them to the beginning of the word and they change the meaning of the word. Like if we say reread, unkind or unhappy, if we say preschool or preheat, what's the meaning of reread? It means read again. Unkind means not kind. Preschool means before school. Disagree, the opposite of agree. Disbelieve, the opposite of believe. For example, we shouldn't leave a space between them. Misunderstanding means wrong understanding. So the prefixes are word part or a group of letters. We added them to the beginning of the word and they change the meaning of the word. Like reread, here we have re is a prefix. Group of letters, we added them to the beginning of the word and they change the meaning. Unkind, un. Preschool, pre. Disagree, dis. There are many prefixes and suffixes. What's the meaning of suffixes now? The suffixes are word parts. We added them to the end of the word and they change the meaning of the word. For example, if we say edible, that means able to eat. If we say, what else? Slowly, that's mean in a slow way. If we say comfortable, not comfortable. If we say careful, means full of careful. Let's see. Let's write careful. The base word is full. If we say careful means full of care. The same for watchful, for example. If we say capable, if we say slowly, quickly, means in a slow way. So what's the meaning of suffixes? The suffixes are word part. We added them to the end of the word and they change the meaning of the word. Let me erase. So what's the meaning of prefixes? The prefix is the word part added to the beginning of the root word to change the meaning. The suffix is a word part added to the end of the root word to change the meaning. Like here we have re means again, un means not, this means opposite of. The prefix is added to the beginning of the word to make a new word. Like dislike means the opposite of like. Disagree, the opposite of agree. Disobey, the opposite of obey. So this means the opposite of. Unhappy means not happy. Unkind, not kind. Unwell, not well. So here the prefix is un. Re plus write, rewrite. Write again. Re plus fill, refill, fill again. Re plus play, replay, that means play again. Redo, do it again. Retell, till again. Now, open your reading book on, not reading book, your turn practice book. Sorry, I didn't put the picture of the book, but you know your turn practice book. Open your turn practice book, the same book, I put it here. Yes, this is the reason I didn't put it again. Your turn practice book, page number 58. Write the date. To figure out a new word, look for a prefix or word part at the beginning of the word. Here we need to underline the meaning of free. It means again. D means again, circle and put again. On means not. This means opposite of. Here, D means again. On means not. This means opposite of. Here we have, read each sentence, underline the word that has a prefix, then write the word and its meaning. The others disagree. Here we have the word disagree. What's the meaning of disagree? We have the prefix this. This means opposite of. So it means opposite of agree. Disagree means the opposite of agree. They look up but are unable to see anything. So here we have unable. What's the meaning of unable? Not able to see anything. Its brown coat makes it seem to disappear into the woods. So here we have disappear. That means the opposite of appear. So we cannot see it anymore. The opposite of appear. The deer slips away unseen. Here we have the prefix on. Unseen means not seen. The class retraces their steps back to the bus. Retraces. So we have re. Re means again. So retraces, trace, again. Thank you for listening and see you in the next session. Goodbye.